It's your girl, she taking it off.
Baby, you're the man of my dreams, yeah. In the labor of your love, like it's on a machine. Blowing up your phone's whole screen, yeah. I think one of my fingers need a ring, I be doing whatever you ask, baby. Anything you want and I'ma give it to you. And I'ma let you hit it, cause you can, baby. By the time we done, we go hire a babysitter. Got you on my mind, can we slow it down tonight? I'm just trying to catch a vibe with you, I don't wanna rewind. Let's take it slow while the world is spinning round and round. Can't let you go, making love until the sun goes down. Feeling on me slow, but you gotta hold it down with it. Floating around, getting down until we get in it. Maybe I might stick around and let you try it. If you come over tonight, I can let you get a bite of it. Rewind, take it back now, y'all. Feeling so fine, gonna give you my all. Sitting real pretty downtown for the car. Catch me, baby, ain't afraid to fall. L-O-M-A-V-E, L-O-L-O-V-E, L-O-M-A-V-E. Put that lovin' on me. I'ma shake it, shake it, shake it for you. Tell me right now, baby, how you wanna move? What you wanna do? Slow it right down, in the mood. L-O-M-A-V-E, L-O-L-O-V-E, L-O-M-A-V-E. Freak that lovin' on me. Got you on my mind, can we slow it down tonight? I'm just tryna catch a vibe with you, I don't wanna rewind. Let's take it slow while the world is spinning round and round. Can't let you go, making love until the sun goes down. 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 Making love until the sun goes down.
Welcome to the Streamin with Keegan Interviews with your host, Keegan.
Hey guys, and welcome to Streamin' with Keegan. We're doing another one on one of my interviews. It's been a while since I've been doing these interviews. Hey, welcome Cheesing Time. Welcome to the chat. And today I've got with me, Dalen. He is I first heard of him, back when he started submitting his really experimental, cool, like hip-hop punk music to my playlist Beats and Bangers. Back when I operated on a very different rule system with those playlists. And since then, I've kind of stayed up to date with him on TikTok. He's very active on those those platforms, those short form content platforms. Yeah, why don't you introduce yourself?
Yeah, hi. Hi, I'm Dalen. Yeah, as Keegan was saying, I do, I guess, experimental punk hip hop. But I mean, like, really, honestly, recently I've kind of been I've just been going all over the place. Like, as you heard in that last song, that's kind of just like a pop song.
Yeah. Dude, I fucking love that song. I needed to play it. First. That is like legitimately something I play on repeat. That is amazing. That's an amazing song.
I appreciate it. That song was it was a lot of fun to do, to make with all.
That's awesome.
Guys. Yeah,
that's awesome. So without further ado, let's get on into the questions. We've already got one live audience member in the chat, so usually I like to wait before beginning the questions to see if more people come in, but it looks like we've got at least one person. That's good enough for me.
Cool.
Let's get on into the first batch of questions. I've got 5 batches of questions that are all related to each other. And we'll start with the first one. The first one is the first 3 questions are introductory questions. The first, just to introduce you, I suppose. This first question is: show us your oldest and newest tracks.
My oldest and my newest track.
Yeah, whatever oldest track that you have access to, if you can share it, we can listen to it. And then your very latest track. It's like a nice warm up, I suppose.
So, I mean, the first song that I released is pretty much my oldest track because I wrote the first verse of that song. It's called Harmless. I wrote the first verse of that song a long time ago, maybe coming up on 10 years ago now, and that song just kind of sat around. That verse really stuck with me, and then when I had an opportunity a couple years ago to actually like get in a studio and record music, that was the first thing where I was like, I need to turn this into a full song. This verse has just stuck around with me. So yeah.
That's sick. For those of you who don't know, Harmless is on Dalen's only album. What would you call this? It's like a bunch of numbers and forwards and backslashes. Yeah. Is it a date?
It's two dates, so it's 7/13/7. It was released on July the 13th, which in Canada, where I'm from, would be written as 7/13, or in New Zealand, where I am based, would be written as 13/7. But it's also a reference to 777 being like an angel number, and like a number of like good luck and good fortune, and then 13 being a number associated with bad luck and bad fortune. Also 13 obviously being a number that I incorporate into my artistry a lot. Like it's in my artist name and everything. So
yeah, true.
Yeah, 7/13/7 is kind of like a representation of like the yin and yang, and like the balance between opposing forces that makes up life and makes up a lot of my artistry, and kind of like is the theme of the album as well.
Cool. Nice. Yeah, no, I know you go into a lot of your like struggles with your mental health and stuff like that. Very vulnerable shit in a lot of these. But without further ado, let's get into Harmless. This is your one of your earliest tracks.
Yeah, it is my first song released, and first song, full song written, and a verse from a very, very
all
long
right. Well, let's get on into it.
swarms of flies while I lie in my bed with the crumbs. Too bad if I cry, then I might just succumb. I'm made of destruction, so leave me for dead. There's never nothing inside of my head. Whether I'm better off. Not enough coughing, enough blood till I shouldn't be stepping up. Wretched, no question the method. I get it, I'm better off making my make-believe. Shut me up, bitch, shut me up. Bitch, shut me up. Bitch, I'm fucking tired, yeah, I tried till I'm fucking sick. Let me die, fucking sick. Fucking tired, yeah, I tried, fucking sick. Let me die, fucking kick. Ah!
All right. Yeah, that's Harmless. I am definitely familiar with that song. I think that, in fact, that was probably my first song I've ever heard from you, was Harmless.
Yeah. It was the first song in all respects. Yeah, it's the thing that really kicked everything off for me.
Yeah, that's crazy. I never, when you showed it to me, I never knew it was like your very first song ever. That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's sick. I remember you submitting this. I don't remember where you submitted it. I think it was like the Funk playlist. I don't remember. But it was something like that. Who made the beat? Was it you?
No, I wish that I could produce.
Okay.
No, I'll get there one day. This beat actually, so the way that this song was actually recorded and created was I was trying to get sober, and I was at this facility in Auckland, New Zealand, called CADS, and through CADS, I got referred to a program called Toyota, and that is like a arts program for people with mental health issues, and they had a music recording class, which was facilitated by this. He's kind of like a local legend in Auckland and New Zealand. His name is Mellow Downs. He's a rapper. And the first class I went in, and I didn't really know what I was going to do. And he was just like, do you have anything to record? And I was like, I don't know. I have this verse from like 10 years ago, and I rapped it to him, and he was like, yeah, let's record that right now. So we actually just found that beat on YouTube. It's done by a producer named Phantom, and then Toyota was able to help me get a rights deal with
nice
for the beat. So yeah,
that's sick, man.
Yeah,
that's awesome. Cool. That's a cool origin. Yeah,
and I've come a long way from the YouTube beats at this point, but it's very cool to look back at like the humble beginning.
Yeah, exactly, the humble beginnings. No, that's awesome, man. That's awesome. I remember when I first heard that song, because it was like, I've heard funk music before, and that beat is very much funk, at least of the drift variety.
Very much drift funk, yeah.
And like I've heard that kind of funk before all the time, but this was the first time I ever heard vocals like yours on a funk track. So I was like, ooh, okay, this is different. I like it.
Thank you.
That, yeah, definitely set it apart in my mind. I was like, ooh, okay.
Cool.
This is not like everything else I've heard.
Yeah,
anyway.
I think regardless of what genre I'm making stuff in, definitely one of the main goals is exactly that, to do it a little bit differently.
Yeah, no, I think you succeeded for sure.
Thank you.
Anyway, up next we've got I guess this is kind of more or less, we kind of went into this. This is the thing with tangents. Sometimes they're relevant and making the next question irrelevant. But I suppose this is still worth touching on in its own right. When did you know you wanted to make music?
I mean, I've known that I wanted to make music pretty much my whole life, but I guess there's multiple different facets. There's different answers to this question. Like, I started making music in general when I was like, well, I guess music has been in my life for my whole upbringing.
Right.
I come from a very musical family, and yeah, so I started like taking guitar lessons and piano lessons when I was like, I don't know, 7 or 8 maybe. I did that for a while when I got to high school in Toronto, where I'm from. We have a lot of the TDSB is a really cool school system. The Toronto District School Board. It has like different. You can just go to like your regular home school is what they're called, and your home school is just like the generic school in your area that will automatically accept you. But then we also have optional attendance schools that you have to apply to that are like specialty schools. So we have like tech schools, art schools,
Right.
IT schools, like a bunch of different stuff like that. So I went to an art school for high school, specifically for music and drama.
Cool.
Did piano there. I was quite passionate that like that's what I wanted to do, but I think being surrounded by so many other people that were so much more talented playing instruments than me kind of like discouraged me a little bit. I was like, I felt like I wasn't good enough to actually make a career out of music when I was in high school.
Right.
That's also about the same time that I started rapping as well. Maybe like middle school or high school, early high school. I started, getting really into making rap music, writing raps. My writing is also a pretty big thing in my family. My grandfather is a journalist. My cousin wrote a book. My aunt is a published author in Canada who's pretty successful.
Cool.
So bringing those two things together, like the music and the writing, was just kind of like very natural for me. And yeah, but I never did anything with the raps. I would like record myself on like photo booth in in my parents' basement, and then just like sit on those. When I got a little bit older, like I dropped out of high school when I was like 16, and then over the next few years I would always carry like notebooks around with me, and I'd always be like writing raps and like coming up with concepts for albums and stuff, and like performing them just for my friends and being like, this song is going to be on this album, it's going to be called this, blah 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 blah, but then like never doing anything with it.
Right.
I had some friends that would like get a recording equipment, and they would like try to get me to get in and record stuff with them, but I never really did it. Other than just like, I guess, piss takes for like, like you get a project for history class, and
right.
like they're like stand up in front of the class and present something, and I'm like, here's my rap. So, but I was also using drugs a lot at that time, which kind of was the main thing that I was focused on. It wasn't until I came to New Zealand and I got sober, and then I had that opportunity presented to me with the recording class that Mello was facilitating, where I was like, oh, I could actually do this. And a big part of it as well, where I was like, I'm going to make this with my career, was watching my partner as a tattoo artist and watching her like teach herself how to tattoo and then like build a business from the ground up around her art and become quite successful at it. I was like, art is actually, I had never really seen it that like art could actually, you could make a career for yourself out of art, or like I could do that, like sure, people can do that, but like seeing my girlfriend do it, I was like, okay, this is something that's actually accessible. I want to do that as well. I'd like to do that for me.
Hell yeah. That's awesome. I just want to say, the Renegade Mutt joined the chat, and he said, Dalen talks like corpse husband's son. I'm guessing he's referring. I'm guessing he's referring to your song. I'm guess. Thought that was pretty funny.
I have heard that before as well, actually.
I mean, it's a funk track, and you're like, I don't know. So I guess it makes sense. Makes sense.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
That you'd have that comparison thrown at you.
I love that.
Great. So the next question on this list is, do you want, I guess this, wow, it's crazy how these naturally tie into, like, it's crazy how these tangents answer the next questions on the list, but I'm going to ask it anyway. Do you want music to be a hobby or a career?
Yeah, 100% a career.
Awesome.
I think I don't like to do things half-assed, you know what I mean? So I'm like, if I'm doing this, I'm gonna do it. I don't want to like be 45 years old and have kids and them be like, oh, I found your like old music that you didn't do anything with, that you have like, you know, a couple thousand plays and nothing else. If I'm gonna do this, I want it to be like, I want to be the biggest and the best at it.
Right. That's awesome. Yeah. That's an awesome aspiration to have. I feel the same way. Yeah, no. That's sick. Who are your inspirations?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think a lot of my inspirations don't really come across in my music. People often make assumptions that like Corpse Husband, Suicide Boys, people like that are big inspirations for me. And honestly, like I don't dislike their music. I do quite enjoy it, but it's never something that I've really listened to like intentionally very much.
Right.
I think, the inspirations that I have are, so like I would say Kendrick Lamar is a huge inspiration. Chance the Rapper is a huge inspiration. Green Day is a huge inspiration.
I can see it.
Yeah. Who else? Queen. Queen was like my favorite band growing up. Red Hot Chili Peppers a bit maybe, although they're like pretty problematic people.
Oh really? I didn't know.
Yeah, some stuff has come out about Flea.
No.
Yeah.
I wasn't ever like a huge Red Hot Chili Peppers fan. It's just always shocking and disappointing when people, like when artists are like horrible people.
It does seem to happen quite frequently. I think there's something about the power and the admiration that people give you, and like the feeling that you can get away with anything, that often just corrupts. Yeah, it's a shame.
It's a shame. Yeah. Takes special kind of people to handle it responsibly. I feel like not a lot of people talk about it, but but I do think that's an influence. People who otherwise might not have been problematic have let their worst impulses take over because they
I definitely agree.
Letting fame go to their head.
Yeah, and I think maybe like the system and the way that we view celebrities in general really has a big part to play in that. Like I think maybe if we were to not deify celebrities quite as much, and like maybe treat them more like people in both the like empathetic side and then also the accountability side, then we wouldn't happen so commonly.
I think that is definitely for sure.
Yeah,
I agree. Anyway, the next question I have here is, how did you come to find a community of other musicians?
Honestly, through getting sober. Like it feels like all of these things have really just fallen into place. Like I needed help to get sober, so I went to CADS. Through CADS, I found Toyota. I met Mello. Mello brought me to Te Karanga, which is like a trust that runs a program called the Navigators Program. which is just like a music program, a youth-focused music program. And through the Navigators program, I've met all of the people, my entire community of musicians that I collaborate with frequently now. Every single one of them has been through Navigators, which was all like I can credit that entire progression to making the decision to go to CADS to stop drinking. So yeah,
that's awesome, man.
And I think honestly, like it kind of makes perfect sense, because like when you're in addictions counseling, one of the main things that they teach you is that substance use is used as a substitution for community. When you feel isolated, you replace that connection with other people with substances. And the best way to counteract that is to build community and build one-on-one connections with people. So
yeah, that's awesome. I that makes complete sense to me. It's cool that they're teaching that.
It's really good. Yeah, I'm quite grateful. I'm very grateful.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. It's crazy just how doing that one thing completely changed your life for the better. Yeah,
genuinely like flipped things like a 180.
Yeah, that's awesome. This is a good question that I'm curious to hear the answer to myself. Do you want to get signed or stay indie?
So right now, the distribution that I do is through a independent label in Auckland in New Zealand called Big Pop Records. Okay. They're a very small label, very community focused. I also have a publishing deal with them. I'm not like signed to them, but they do my distribution and I have a publishing deal with them. I would love to get signed by them, but I don't think that I would want to be signed by a major label. The reason being, like when I started, I was doing my distribution through DistroKid, and like I think a lot of indie artists are, and the issue that I found was that to DistroKid and to other like big online distributors, you're kind of just a number, a subscription fee, a balance in their checkbook. You know, they don't really see you as a person as much. They're not going to like go to bat for you as much. If there's issues with your release, they're not going to be contacting the digital streaming platforms and trying to sort it out. They're not really going to be pitching for you to playlists as much. They're not going to be like reaching out to local communities and trying to get you in with them. Major labels are going to do all of that stuff for you, but they're only going to do it for you because you are a commodity to them. And they're only interested in making that return on the investment that they made in you, you know, and the moment that they're not making that return, they're going to drop you. Like we've heard stories of like, what's his name? If I could write you a song to make you fall in love, you know, that guy. Yeah. And then he was talking about how he got shelved and he was making all these songs and they were like, yeah, that's a good song, but you can't release it. We're going to give it to someone else. And they just like were not letting him make his music. And then he made the I took a pill in Ibiza, that song, singing about how the music industry had failed him and how he had kind of like been left behind and like was past his peak and stuff like that. That's a story like that. His story is one that we hear, but it's one that is like so common that we don't hear about. And I don't think that major labels, you know, like Chapel Roan just did at her Grammy acceptance speech. She was saying like, we need labels to be providing artists with benefits and insurance and like real wages and all of this stuff. And like that, it's crazy that we've that we're this deep into the industry, and those statements are only just being made now. You know, like artists are really not. They're not viewed as people. They're not even viewed as employees by major labels. They're only viewed as commodities. So,
yeah, no, I know there's a lot of ways major labels exploit artists. I wasn't even thinking about those things. I was thinking more about like I guess you briefly touched on it with that one guy where you'll have to sign away the rights to your art, which is like the one thing that a lot of artists like me actually care about is like I want my art, man. I want to be able to, it's my art. I don't want other people to have the rights to it and over me. I don't want them to steal it from me. Yeah.
Absolutely.
That's the reason why I'm not gonna get signed to a major label. I am it is curious about it. I do want to research more about indie labels though, because I'm still using DistroKid. I'm not with an indie label. I've been doing a lot of the promotion and playlist pitching myself. Yeah, being a one-man show and whatnot. It would be nice.
I would definitely recommend, like, even in the situation that I'm in with Big Pop, where like I'm not signed to them, but they do my distribution and I have publishing through them. I still do most of the stuff. Well, I don't know about most. I still do a lot of the stuff myself, but having the team of the label who actually cares about me and like wants to help me and support me behind my art to help with things like help with pitching, help with writing releases, give me some funding to put on shows and stuff like that. Like there's lots of things that they do that is like massively helpful to, especially as an indie artist. And I mean, just having that community as well, and having a team and having people that like care about you, you know, like even just like last week, I just sat down in a cafe for like 2 hours with one of the guys that owns the label. And we started out talking about like what I was going to do for my next release and like how we were going to like make CDs for it and all of this stuff. But then like, by the end of the conversation, we were just talking about like how fucked up the world is and like the pitfalls of capitalism and different economic systems and governmental systems and stuff like that. And it's just like, this he's just a really cool guy that like enjoys talking to me and wants to help me. And, you know, like they have a soup day every Wednesday and we like go in and like hang out and eat soup and stuff. It's great. It's like,
sick.
Yeah, I would recommend looking into what indie labels are in your area. It's a great way to get connected to a community of artists like locally in your area as well.
Yeah.
You know? The stuff online is amazing as well, don't get me wrong, but it's really, really cool to have people like around you and tap into your local scene as well.
No, that is definitely something I want to do more often. I need to go out. I need to get out more in general. That's like something in general is that's like I'm very much of an introvert. Don't go out much at all. The thought of performing live scares me to death, but that is something I want to overcome. Mainly because I don't do a lot of live perform. I don't play any instruments. All I do is vocalize. I produce my music, but I don't know how to produce live. I don't know how to mix live. So it's like, what the fuck would I even do, I guess? Yeah,
what would the live show be? I'm sure that you could find a way to make it really, really cool, though. There's a lot of, like, really cool production and stuff. Yeah, and, like, even if it takes a while for me to, like, I don't know, learn how to DJ or do whatever live, I mean, I don't know if you've heard of 100 Gex. I have, yeah. I mean, they just do concerts where they're just like in costume, like more or less miming to their music that's already just playing through the speaker. I could fucking do that. I can put on a show. Yeah. But yeah, you know, I'll figure something out. Yeah. Anyway, not to get too sidetracked. The next question here is, where do you aspire to be in the future? where do I aspire to be? Like, where in my career? Or like, where geographically?
In your career, I had envisioned, but that could translate to geographic location as well, if you wish.
I mean, geographically, I want to stay in New Zealand. I love it here.
Cool.
It's a beautiful place, and I love the community.
Awesome.
Where do I see myself? I want to be. I want to be number one, baby. I want to be. Drake was the biggest selling artist in the world, and then he was dethroned by The Weeknd, that sold more than him and got the Guinness World Record for it. And they're both from Toronto, so I'm like, I'm from Toronto as well. I want to be number 3. I want to dethrone The Weeknd and continue that legacy of Toronto artists being the biggest artists in the world.
That's
and
sick.
I want to be able to use that platform. I want to be more than just an artist. I want to be like a leader. I want to be able to use that platform to like speak out about issues that I care about and like help people mobilize against these fucking broken power systems that are keeping us all in chains, you know?
Yeah, that's sick, man. I had never when talking to you, or I guess we never really had a lot of like direct conversations. I've mostly just watched your shorts and or consumed your content. Or we've had like brief exchanges on the playlist Discord server, which is one of the reasons why I wanted to do this interview. I never realized how ambitious you were. I didn't realize you wanted to be number 1, top of the charts. That's kind of cool.
Yeah. I'm going to be the biggest in the world. And then people are going to look back on this stream and be like, oh my God, look at where he started. That's going to be awesome.
Hanging with these people.
And then I can take everyone with me, you know? That's the coolest part about it. Like, being able to have the whole community, have the whole squad up on top.
Hell yeah. No, that's awesome, for sure. It's funny, like, in terms of my aspirations, I would be happy being, like, a novelty, kind of like 100 Gex and, or, like, people similar to the, like, I'd be satisfied with, like, a couple million monthly listeners on Spotify and just, like, all right, I'm good. I don't know if I'd want to get too famous, honestly. I think that would fuck up my mental health.
Yeah, it's definitely something that I've thought a lot about. I think it's scary and dangerous, you know? You have to be really, really careful about how you go about it. Because like we were talking about before, it's so easy for power to corrupt.
Yeah, it's not even just that. It's also just like strangers you've never met are thinking about you nonstop. Yeah. Sometimes thirsting over you, like.
Yeah. It's like, one of the reasons that I like love New Zealand so much, and that I wouldn't want to leave New Zealand. Though it's like the way that people engage with celebrity as like a concept in this country compared to like in Canada and in the rest of the world that I've seen online is like so completely different. Like people can just walk down the street here and not be bothered at all, even if they're like the biggest people, you know, like Lord will just go to the bar and just hang out with people and no one like bats an eye. Or like Israel Adesanya can just like go.
Do they recognize her? Is she recognizable?
Yeah, people do. And like sometimes people will come up and be like, hey, are you this person? And they'll be like, yeah, but like they're not like flocking them and going crazy over them, you know? There's kind of like, it's kind of bad because there's like a toxic humility in this country where no one wants to stand out, but that's one of the things that is good about that toxic humility is people will just let you live your life.
Fascinating.
Which is cool.
That is cool. Yeah. I guess if I ever become too famous for my own good, I'll move to New Zealand.
Yeah, I would definitely recommend it. Yeah.
That's crazy. I feel like if I were like a fucking tourist in New Zealand and I saw a celebrity, I'd be like, why is nobody like saying anything? Like,
Yeah.
Like, but
Even
that's
when
like
international artists-
I'm an American, so like, yeah, America's like the worst in that respect.
Yeah, it's cool though. It's good. Like even international artists can come here and just like act
Chill.
normally.
That's sick.
Yeah, it's very cool.
I bet you got a lot of celebrities there. Then they're just like, oh wow, finally I can be like normal.
Yeah,
I don't need to be.
a lot of people will like buy houses here just to get away from stuff. It's a very isolated, very small country as well, you know. So
right, cool.
Yeah.
Let's see. Where was I? So, all right. This is a question that's going to ascend to like that's going to apply to all the rest of the questions at the end of each segment, which is what do you? Or wait, no, not that one. What 5 songs are you most proud of and reflect you the best? Because those are going to be the songs that we're going to listen to interspersed.
Oh, good question. I wish that I could include unreleased stuff in this. I'm so happy with the unreleased stuff. Like the stuff coming out later this year. I would say Growing Pains. I'm quite happy. Quite proud of.
Cool.
And then maybe just the whole 4 songs on the Entropy EP. Like I love 713-7, but I felt like I kind of rushed it a little bit when I started making music. I felt like I was releasing music. I felt like I needed to like make up for lost time a little bit, and I kind of wish that I'd taken a little bit more time to refine the songs on 713-7. I've been thinking actually about like doing like a re-release / like remix remaster kind of version of it, where I like polish some of the things up, maybe rewrite a couple of the verses.
Cool.
Yeah, and do it again. Yeah, because I think the ideas and the stuff that I'm talking about on that album is fantastic. And I love it, and it holds a very like close, special place in my heart, which is why I feel like I could do it better. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Entropy, I love Entropy though. I'd put all 4 of those songs. That's a very experimental album or EP, and it is I'm really proud of it. It's like not like a mainstream or music at all.
No, there's one particular song in that one in Entropy. I forget which one it is. It's like we all come from something. That one.
Yeah. That's the first
Synthesis?
one and the last one. Synthesis and Synthesis Revisited both have that.
Right. Yeah.
The EP is kind of just like one song. You know.
Yeah.
Like one long song. Yeah.
I thought that was beautiful. That's like that's like what my second favorite song from you, I think, I would say.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm very proud of that EP.
Yeah. Well, let's play the first song. Which song do you want me to play first in that list?
Let's start with Growing Pains and then we'll go into Entropy.
All right, sounds like a plan. Growing Pains.
Yeah, the world was easier, everything was breezier. Now I'm feeling locked down as the world turns round. Could we please just take it back to the days of the 808 childhood heartbreaks? Marked up pages in my textbook, left look across the beat. Lost the heat, top of the world till I tripped on my own feet. But I'ma bring it back with this notepad and a simple track. I'ma plant the seed, stand back at ease. Yeah, this life ain't smooth, but I make it do. I'ma make it through. Am I getting through to you? Am I getting through to you? Just living that life, huh? Am I getting through to you? wants to go back. I don't know.
Take it back to '09. Been feeling myself, I'm so fine. Got time on my line and it's on mine. Rest in peace, MJ, but it's alright. We could change the world forever. Do it like Drake, the best ever. Had to do to get it better. Was keep it cool, apply the pressure when life knocks you down. We gon' pick it back up and run this town. Old me's sitting gone right now. So let's grow, I'll show you how. I got a feeling, can you meet me halfway? I'm sweetly dreaming that we're seeing better days. I hear the things like, what you say. I hear the things like, what you say. I got a feeling, can you meet me halfway? I'm sweetly dreaming that we're seeing better days. Can I see in our hearts? We believe everything we need will always be. So over time, we can be seen to even when
All right, that was "Growing Pains" featuring Tammy, by homeboy Dalen. Let's go. So, that was sick. I forgot to mention that this is another song that I absolutely love. Probably tied for my second favorite behind "Love."
Thank you. Yeah, this one.
Whatever
this one has
producer,
been-
sorry. Whatever producer you had for both "Love" and this song, you gotta keep them around. This was that was amazing. Anyway,
So,
sorry.
This song, "Growing Pains," is produced by a guy named Brother Tem. He is awesome. He's fantastic. We actually did this song at what was it? It was like a writing camp thing that we did at a studio / venue space called Big Fan, which is owned and operated by Joel Little, who is the producer that worked with Lorde, and he also works with a lot of other big artists like Taylor Swift and
That's
people
crazy.
like that. So we did this song. The purpose of what was the exercise? I think planting seeds was the prompt for that day. And yeah, we made the song in one day, and then we were like, this slaps. This is a banger. We wanted to make like a 2009 pop song. And yeah, then we were like, let's release this because it was really cool. And LOVE, that one was actually produced by a producer named, or it was originally produced by, and then we had someone else have to actually remake the beat because there was a whole issue with the stems, but he perfectly recreated it. So it's the exact same beat as the original. And that original beat was made by a producer named Deda Milan, who is like a pretty big deal producer in New Zealand. He produces for a duo called Church and AP, who are quite big in the New Zealand underground rap scene.
Nice.
He's actually one of the facilitators at the Navigators program, the Te Karanga Navigators program, and we made that song actually at a Navigators program. So the way that Navigators works is it goes from 7 till 10, and you come in, and from like maybe 7 until 8:30, maybe it's like everyone going around the circle, doing their highs and lows, talking about how their week has been, and like we have a little discussion about different topics or whatever, and then we get into the creative segment, which is 8:30 until like 9:45, because we need to be out of the community center by 10, so we end a little bit before 10, and then in that like hour, just over an hour, you have to make an entire song. So sometimes the producers have beats already made, sometimes they will make it in the booth with you, and then you just write to it, you record it, and then you present it at the end of the night. So that was me Tammy, our friend Idle Essence, our friend Ty, and our friend Mooks were all in a booth together. We were lucky enough that our producer in the booth that night was Detta, who is one of the facilitators. He made that beat that night. Like, it took him maybe like, I don't know, 15, 20 minutes to make the beat. We recorded this. We wrote our verses. Ty banged out that fucking fantastic hook. We recorded it, and then we presented it at the end of the night, and we were just kind of like, holy shit, this song is so fucking... Like, we made it in like an hour. Beat, everything written, everything recorded in like an hour. And we were like, this is so fucking good. We have to, like, do a proper version of this and release it. So, yeah,
I'm so glad that you did. Holy crap. That's crazy, dude. That's awesome.
Both of those producers are through the Navigators program. They're fucking incredible people. Go to that program.
Amazing. You gotta stick with them.
Yeah.
Well, let's see. Up next, these are the first batch of questions, those were more like introductory questions. These are going to be more tailored specifically for the music. These are music questions.
Cool.
The first question in this batch is, how would you describe the kind of music you create? I think you kind of touched on this in previous questions, but whatever.
Yeah. I don't know. Like, honestly, it's like when I started, I was being like, yeah, I'm like an experimental emo / punk rapper, but now like I'm making these pop songs. I've got like, I'm just like, I was saying recently, like, I just want to leave like no genre stone unturned. You know, I want to try everything. I want to do everything. That's why, like, I've made like my bio on like YouTube and stuff, and Spotify. Genre is dead, because I really believe, like, in the streaming era as well, like the lines of genre keep just getting so blurred, and it's a lot harder to define. Like, this is this song. This song is rock. This song is hip hop. You know, because everything is just getting so blurred. I think,
sometimes you got like rock themed hip hop. You've got hip hop themed rock.
Exactly. Yeah. So I would say my music is, how I would describe it, is just like expressive, therapeutic, experimental, even when it's not experimental, because I'm just experimenting with different genres. And just kind of like me fucking around, having an outlet to talk about stuff, and then also just like be creative and have fun.
Yeah. And like, one thing that I will mention, a friend of mine, James, to the extent he said he's also a punk, completely different genre than you. He said that in his opinion, and I think I agree with this definition of punk, it's less about genre and more about your message and what you're trying to convey.
Yeah, I
think if you talk your shit and you're like angry about it, you can make a punk song in almost any genre, I would think.
Yeah. I think I would agree with that as well. I think punk is a lot more a cultural movement, and like a way of viewing the world, and a state of mind, and a way of trying to represent yourself, and like get people to mobilize against oppression more than anything else. Yeah.
No, I agree. And I think if my point is, I think if anything if all the other like meaningless genre mumbo jumbo changes, at the end of the day you still got that. You can still call yourself a punk musician.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah. Up next we've got another question. What do you like about the genre or genres of music you create?
I think the thing, like we were just touching on about punk, and then I think that a lot of that applies to hip hop and rap music as well. I think that both of those genres are, more than anything else, a vehicle to get messages across to people, and
Yeah.
a voice for the voiceless, and forms of art that came out of oppression and exist to combat oppression and to combat an oppressive system. And I think that that is what I love about both of those genres so much. They are both like poetry in motion, and they are resistance through art, which I love. That's what I want to live my life around.
I totally agree. Totally 100% agree with that. I mean, hip hop, it isn't, at least hip hop can, it is curious because like hip hop can be punk, but like hip hop is very politically conscious in its own way. Like, because it's birthed from, black voices, the black experience of being oppressed. And I think a lot of it's crazy how many like songs that you just skip, that you just like, the point flies over your head as like a privileged white boy. It's like, whoop, that's the sound of the police. It's like, oh, that's just, I don't know, like, or they see me rolling, like the fucking, the Ouija death stare, like that fucking, after re-listening to those songs, re-listening to at least, Ryden, I think is the name, I was like, oh shit, no, this is deep as fuck. I can appreciate this now as an adult.
Yeah, definitely. When you're a kid, you just think that it's just like, oh, that sounds cool. That sounds hard. And then you're like, oh, they're saying some shit.
Yeah.
They're really fucking, yeah, I agree. And I think hip hop and punk really go hand in hand in a lot of those ways. And I think there's a lot of solidarity between the communities because there's a lot of recognition that they are coming from similar experiences and, speaking on similar things and trying to achieve similar goals through the music.
Yeah, totally. I mean, that's hip hop at its best, I should say, is when they're talking about cultural issues and, hey, Abstract, welcome.